Hello, everyone, and welcome to Warren's Hands Outreach Podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so excited that you have joined us today. Today, our empowerment topic is so empowering and definitely will bring positive transformations, increasing catapult empowerment and sufficiencies in all areas of your life. Before I get started, I invite you to follow us on our social media platforms at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, and podcast is where you are now. And again, thank you all for joining our podcast today. Our empowerment topic today is, are you allowing your situations and or circumstances to determine you? Are you allowing your situations and or circumstances to determine you? To determine simply means to decide, to reach a decision. Let me reiterate that. To determine means to simply decide, to reach a decision. Are you allowing your situations and or circumstances to determine you? Really think about that. Are you allowing your situations and or circumstances to determine you, making a decision and reaching a decision for you, for your destiny, your gifts, your talents, your strengths, your abilities, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, your visions, and your life self-empowerment, and so much positively and greatly and successfully more in your life. Are you allowing it to determine? ? Are you allowing it to determine? Let me reiterate that. You have the self-abilities, you have the self-power and the self-greatness that is already within you to decide, to reach a decision regarding you. Let me reiterate that. You have the self-ability, you have the self-power, you have the self-greatness that is all within you to decide, to reach a decision regarding who? You. No situation and or circumstances can determine you. Only you can determine you. Let me reiterate that there. No situation and or circumstances can determine you. Only you can determine you. Determine how you desire for your life to be. Determined to do, to be, to have, and so much positively and greatly more and successfully more. Let me reiterate that there. No situation and or circumstances can determine you. Only you can determine you, oneself. Determine how you desire for your life to be, determined to do, determined to be, to determine to have, and so much positively more, greatly more, and successfully more. Determine today that you are no longer allowing situations and or circumstances to determine. Again, determine today that you are no longer allowing situations and or circumstances to determine that you will decide today, that you will determine, okay? The situation and the circumstances, that you have experienced or is experiencing, by saying to yourself, regardless of my situations and or circumstances, I still determine all the great, okay, and empowering and successful things for my life. Okay, let me reiterate that. Regardless of my situations and or circumstances, I, which is yourself, oneself, still determine all the great and empowering and successful things for my life. Okay, my determine of this, okay, with what I decide and what I reach a decision with, all through mind determine, okay? I want you to say that with me, okay? I would like you to know today that your determine matters, and it matters even more so when you determine, okay? Let me reiterate that. I would like you to know today that you determine, that your determine matters, so that's you, and matters even more so when you determine, okay? Determine with your goals, determine with your dreams, determine with your aspirations, determine with your visions, determine with your gifts, your talents, your strengths, your abilities, your expertise, your destiny, your life self-empowerment, and so much positively more and greatly more and successfully more in whose life? In your life, okay? So determine today through your own determine, all right? I want you to determine today through your own determine. And thank you all for joining our Warren's Hands Outreach Podcast. Meet us back here on our next Empowerment Podcast. Until then, determine today through your own determine.